Hey, it's me, MLB. Here's chapter 45 of Serendipity, and this one is titled Date Selected. Just before we start, there is a adult scene in this chapter, which I've cut out, as I usually do to keep things PG, but it's actually two scenes that I've cut out, and they kind of went on back to back. So it starts with them getting intimate in the hallway, and then it ends with them getting intimate in bed, except Deku's a little sleepy, and I think he's pretty much asleep for the second part. So when I start reading afterwards, it's talking about how he had no idea what had happened, and she's explaining it to him, just so that you're across the board and you know what's going on. But I won't be reading the scene. You can, however, find it in the book on my site. I'll put the link, but enjoy. A 20-minute ride later, including stopping to get flowers for Mrs Midoriya, and you arrived at Deku's childhood home. You had been to his apartment a number of times, but it always made you feel so soft inside when you entered the place. There was just something so intrinsically homely about it that it always left you feeling less stressed the minute you stepped inside and took your shoes off. "Mum?" Deku called as he slipped his shoes off at the front mat. "Is that my boy?" his mum called lovingly, the sound of cutlery and other cooking items being put down as she hastily stopped her work and made her way out into the narrow hallway. "Hi, Mum," Deku greeted when she appeared and came bumbling down the hallway towards him. His bright smile made her tear up, and he engulfed her in a warm hug before handing her the flowers. "These are for you. I hope you like them," he said with a smile. "Oh, they're perfect, Izu," she said kindly, then turned to greet you. "Hi, Yin, please come in." She reached across to give you one of her loving mum hugs and squeezed you gently in her embrace. "I have so much food. I hope you're hungry." "We are," you said with a smile. "This is perfect timing." Deku grinned at you and stepped back to usher you in front of him, politely taking the rear so that you could follow his mum up the hall and into the dining area. "Oh, this looks amazing," you said with delight when you saw the food laid out. "Yes, I'm sorry, I just started cooking and then all of a sudden I'd made too much. Please don't be shy, eat up." She gestured to the two chairs opposite her, and you sat down in one and Deku sat in the other. "How have you been, Mum?" your man asked, accepting a bowl of food that she passed across to him. "I've been well, but enough from me. I need to congratulate you both on your announcement. I cried when I saw the news," she said, tearing up once again. "I'm so sorry I didn't call you first, Mum. It's just been so busy," Deku apologised when he saw the tears slipping from the corners of her eyes. "It's okay, Izu. You're a big hero now. I know you don't get a lot of time to breathe, so if you need help with wedding preparations, I'd love to lend a hand," she said, wiping her eyes on a napkin. "I have a lot of time on my hands, so I can do some calling around if you need me to." "Oh, that's very kind," you said, with Deku nodding along with a mouthful. "We'd really appreciate your help." Mrs Midoriya smiled to you and nodded. "Okay, well for now let's eat." "Looks like Izu's already started," you said with a chuckle when you saw him shoving more food down. "He's always had a good appetite," Mrs Midoriya said with a smile. "Even as a young boy he knew exactly what he wanted to eat and would always ask for something in particular." You grinned. Not much has changed then. The rest of the evening went well, and you chatted about different things, weddings and other, and before you knew it, it was close to midnight. "Oh!" Deku gasped when he saw the time. "Mum, I'm so sorry, we have to go. I have work tomorrow. And I need to get things together for the wedding. We don't even have a date planned." "Well, when were you hoping to get married?" Mrs Midoriya asked as she got up and grabbed the calendar from the wall. "Well, we didn't see the point in waiting," you said, looking at Deku for him to confirm. "Yes, we were thinking something in about 3 weeks' time." "Or would you want a weekend or weekday wedding?" Mrs Midoriya asked. You looked at Deku and he looked back at you and shrugged. "Weekend, I guess." Mrs Midoriya counted the weeks forward and said the date for Saturday in 3 weeks' time, and you looked from her back to Deku. "Sounds good to me," you said nonchalantly. "Same," he replied. "Circle it, Mum. We'll make that our date." "If the venues we want are available then," you said conditionally. "I'll make some calls tomorrow." "If you need anything from me," Mrs Midoriya reminded, not wanting to act too desperate to be involved, but also not wanting you to forget her. "Oh yes, of course. Can I call you tomorrow to get your help with things?" you asked her. Her eyes lit up and she nodded enthusiastically. "Yes, please. I'm available all day." After finishing up with finer details, you and Deku left for the night, drained but excited about the soon upcoming wedding. "I'll ring Todoroki tomorrow and talk to him about honeymoon venues," Deku said softly as he held you against his side in the back of the taxi on the way home. "Yeah," you said in a relaxed voice. You were kind of sleepy, but you still wanted to do something with your man as you became keenly aware of his hand on your side. Lazily you turned your head against him and tilted it up, smiling up into his shining green eyes as the street lights going past outside illuminated his face. Slowly you reached up to his face and cupped his cute, freckled cheek in your palm, smiling when he nuzzled his face back into it a little and closed his eyes. Cute, you thought. As his eyes opened again, you stretched your neck up to him, and he leaned down, pressing his plump lips against yours. Obviously, you didn't want to do too much in the back of the taxi, as Deku had a reputation to uphold, but it was clear from the chemistry coursing between you two that you wanted more the minute you got home. The taxi pulled up outside your house, and in you went. No sooner had you flicked the lights on in the hall, Deku's body was against yours. "Forgive me, Yin," he said softly as he caged you in against the hallway wall. "I know it's late, and I know we have to be up early tomorrow, but..." You grinned up at him and reached for his hips, pulling them against yours as you arched your front against his. "Don't worry, I feel the same way, Izu. We haven't been intimate for a while." He swallowed audibly. Although he was a grown man, there was still a lot of innocence left in his body, and it didn't take you long to get him worked up. Even the most simple of sentences could drive him wild. The next morning you woke feeling very refreshed. You didn't even remember rolling over or anything in your sleep last night because you'd been well and truly washed out. All energy gone. "Hey baby," you greeted Deku as he wandered into the kitchen a little after you did that next morning. "Sleep well?" "Yeah," he whispered groggily. "Had a strange dream, though." "What was it?" you asked, stopping what you were doing to give him a hug. Well, it's, kinda a little dirty," he admitted shyly. "I had a dream that you and I were intimate in bed. It felt so real." About that," you chuckled sheepishly. And there ends chapter 45. Stay tuned for chapter 46.